Word on the streets, it's BowlzNBeatz. What's good, everybody? And welcome back to another episode with your girl X. To celebrate 420, I have a special guest here, the queen of cannabis. Let's welcome Tawana. Girl, get out of shot. I think I put that up. Oh, fuck. All right, guys, I have Tawana here with me on our 420 episode. I'm so excited to have you on. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. This is my first time on a podcast, so
the honor. Yeah. I'm so honored to have you here, especially on the 420 episode.
Yeah,
perfect timing.
Yeah.
So let's just get right into it. For the audience members that don't know who you are, tell them who you are and what you do.
So my name is Tawana Marijuana. I am a cannabis content creator, but I'm also a bud tender and a brand ambassador for a company named Sticky Greens.
Ooh, I
so
like that.
They're a cannabis company. They do like unique flavored forward vape cartridges. And I know there's like a lot of like negative things to say about distillate, but you know, there's like a time and place for it.
Yeah.
So
We'll actually get into that because I have my opinion on them as well.
Yeah.
So are you originally from Toronto?
I'm not. I'm actually from Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Ooh, representing Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming all the way here.
Like I knew I was going to come to Toronto for a while and I was going to reach out to you and then it just slipped my mind. Yeah, so,
thanks, girl.
yeah.
Sometimes I get nervous. I'm like, I don't know if I should ask this person.
Yeah.
And then like the energy's the same. They're like, I was scared to ask you.
I was so nervous to ask you. I'm like, what if she's all booked and busy? So,
don't worry about it. We've been like contacting each other for so long, connecting on the internet. So it's like so funny to like finally meet you in person.
Yeah.
It's like we were already friends.
Yeah.
Right?
I like how we like immediately like vibed because you never know when you meet people online, you know, because it's like you may think you know somebody based how you perceive them online and then they just turn out not to be who they are. But yeah.
So how did you get into cannabis to begin with? Like, how did you get into the whole industry?
So in 2019, my fiance, he's a teacher and he has the summers off.
Oh, okay,
and for whatever reason, he didn't want to take advantage of his summer off. So he got a job at Tokyo Smoke in Winnipeg. And then, he was leaving to go back to school for the school year and they needed to fill in his position. So that's how I got my foot in the door at Tokyo Smoke.
Okay.
At the time I was kind of on YouTube. I had just started, but I didn't have a niche.
Okay.
And then the training for Tokyo Smoke was just like a lot of like cannabis knowledge. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much content.
Right.
And then I made the switch and then,
I actually like that though, because that's what we need in the industry is knowledge. Because not a lot of people even know about cannabis.
Yeah.
So when did your journey with cannabis begin?
Like when I first started smoking?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if there's any children watching this, I don't encourage doing this. I encourage, waiting till you're 20 or 25 to smoke, but I started in high school. Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Right?
Yeah.
Like same thing with drinking.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You're supposed to be 19, 21, but people
do it. Yeah.
Age.
It just is what it is.
And that's why education is important.
Exactly.
Because they're going to be doing it anyways.
Exactly.
Right? And did you kind of get into it just for like the fun of it, or did you notice there was also beneficial sides to it?
I was just doing it just for the fun of it at the time.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, I kind of abused it and like was using it as a crutch.
Right.
But I'm glad that I worked on my relationship with cannabis, so it's not like that anymore. And now it's more enjoyable than just like depending on something.
I like that you say that because a lot of people who have quit cannabis don't understand like you can kind of fix your relationship with it. And that's with any substance.
Exactly.
Like if you're abusing it too much, it's not going to be good for you. So let's not stigmatize weed. It's
exactly.
like, what the hell is the problem with
that?
Yeah. So what are the pros and cons of being a bud tender?
Okay.
Because I get a lot of people, they're like, you must love your job. You're just like smoking
honestly,
weed all day.
I love it. I love it so much. Like there's a disconnect between consumers and I guess like bud tenders.
Yeah.
I feel like the bud tenders who are like really knowledgeable, there's not that many of them in comparison to bud tenders who are just like taking the job because it's a job and like aren't providing consumers that education. And then for someone who isn't familiar with buying cannabis, if they're going to a store and like their first experience with a bud tender is like speaking to someone who doesn't know much, I feel like as a consumer, it turns them off from continuing to want to shop in a pot shop,
Yeah.
So I guess that would be a con, is just like the inconsistencies and like educational bud tenders.
Absolutely. Honestly, that was one of my favorite parts of budtending is like someone coming in, they're kind of like, I don't know if I want this. And then like I educate them enough and they're like, okay.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
exactly.
Yes, I did my job.
Right. And you feel good.
Exactly. Yes.
That
I'm
would
like,
be
welcome
a pro.
to the community.
Yeah. And then the samples. Well,
right.
I don't know how it is here, but did you receive samples as a bud tender from like reps?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's kind of, dumb that we can't give the samples to customers either.
Yeah.
Because like you can do that with everything else, food, alcohol, but we can't do that with like edibles. So
yeah. It's
a little bummy.
Yeah.
Because you want to know what you're buying, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
I hope that changes. I'm sure it will, but
I think it will too.
It's going to take time.
But I also hope that online presence changes as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see that you're doing so well in social media because it's so restricted to cannabis.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of like get to where you are? Because honestly, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
A lot of people like they'll look at my podcast and they're like, oh, it must be like so easy for you to grow. I'm like, you have no idea.
It's like impossible.
Like you're censored to the max.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's even like crazy that I'm at the following I am now.
Yeah.
With the censorship, the terms you can't use. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It's like walking on eggshells constantly.
Honestly, yes.
It's kind of, do you find it to be discouraging sometimes?
Oh my God. Yes, absolutely.
You're like, why am I
sometimes I
even-
want to post a certain caption or like just educate people while using the terms. And I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
And like, are people going to get this?
Yeah.
If they're not users, they're not going to get the terms.
Exactly.
It's definitely not helping.
Yeah.
It's a step forward and then like 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Right. And the ones that actually do well usually get taken down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, thanks.
Yeah. There's no winning.
Like, honestly, there's days where I'm like, should I even just continue doing this because it's so discouraging?
Yeah. But you should, honestly.
Thanks.
And like, it seems like you're having fun. It looks like a lot of fun. Yeah.
But it's just hard. So like,
Yeah.
what are some tips for yourself that you would give to people who are in this industry that are struggling on social media?
Oh God. I stopped focusing on the things that I can control. I found that like some of the guidelines are inconsistent. Like I see other creators get away with things I can't, but I can't like hold on to that. It just is what it is. I don't get it either.
I don't get it.
They need new moderators or something. I'm confused. Yeah.
And I know like some influencers from Canada. It's not even like a different state. Maybe it's like from Canada and they have like hundreds of thousands of followers and they're literally smoking with the joint in the camera, like with the bong, and I'm like, but I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, do they have a connection? I'm like, do you know
maybe.
someone that works at Instagram?
It could be a possibility.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie. I get away with more than I should.
Do you find it's because you started using like different techniques or terms?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay,
I think like avoiding using like those keywords like cannabis and like ganja and then like stoner. I think that helps a lot.
So what do you do when you're feeling like discouraged? Because honestly, I used to post like more like funny content and like relatable content, but that kept getting flagged. And I was kind of like, then like I just started posting podcast episodes because I'm like, I don't even want to deal with Instagram shutting down my account.
Oh, strange. That's the content that got flagged for you? Interesting.
Yeah.
For me, it's like anytime I like show like bud shots.
Or that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like showing the actual product.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or like if I say smoking, that seems to flag it every single time.
Yeah. That's why I started saying herbs, but
does that get flagged for you?
no.
Okay.
But like I think if they catch on to what you're trying to say, it'll get flagged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you never know because you don't know what flags it. They don't really tell you, or when they do tell you, it's just like the generic.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So are you on other platforms as well, or just Instagram?
I'm on TikTok and YouTube as well.
Okay. Do you find that you get censored on YouTube?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an option where you can like set an age restriction.
Okay.
And it'll still get recommended to like people who have their birthdays set like obviously over the age of 18.
Cool.
Yeah.
Obviously Instagram's probably like the #1 platform right now, which is why everyone's trying to be on it.
Yeah.
But there are other platforms out there who aren't restricted, right?
Yeah.
So if you guys want to try other platforms, go for it. I need to do that myself. I heard
think
Twitch is amazing. I'm like slacking on that.
I've been thinking about that actually.
I heard it's really good. I'm
do you have
slacking.
a Twitch?
I do, but I'm just like not active. Like I've just been having it waiting to like use it.
Can you smoke on there though?
I don't think you can.
Okay.
But I think you can like say what you want.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I'm like, as long as I can talk, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, that does make a big difference.
Even right now, like certain things we want to talk about on the podcast, I'm like, I know I can't put that in the episode right now. Or I'm going to have to censor it or put a beep or like, something dumb.
Yeah.
When there's like so much things on Instagram that shouldn't be on there and they don't get flagged.
Oh my God, the amount of accounts that follow me that just have like straight up like guns on their page and I'm like, what the fuck?
No, but actually, or like an actual booty as their profile picture. I'm like, what the fuck? But I can't smile with a little joint on my
Yeah, it's wild.
It is wild. But you know what else is wild? Just the environment for women in cannabis.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely a male dominated field, 100%.
For sure.
Like, shout out all the women brands, like
honestly,
they're There are some.
Yeah.
But mostly it's like white guys. Just be white old men. That's what I've noticed that are at the top kind of controlling everything.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of like go about that as a woman, as a black woman, right?
That's a really good question. Oh my God. I don't even know how to answer. I'm gonna have to think on that. That's why I kind of left Tokyo Smoke, because I felt like there wasn't really any room for me to grow.
Right.
But honestly, I think social media helped me get all the opportunities to the point I am today. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard for women in cannabis.
100%. I noticed that you work at a place that's like ran by women?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're family friends of mine.
Okay, I thought so. Because I'm constantly like noticing you guys are like posting yourselves on the page. I'm like, oh, this is different.
I love it there. It's so sweet. It's like my safe space.
We need more of that, like safe spaces, which is one of the reasons I created this. Because I'm like, I want people to feel comfortable coming on and like showing who they are without having to be like the typical like clueless Instagram models to get any attention. Right?
Exactly.
Like there are smart women out here in this industry, not just bimbos that want to, you know, show their titties and be like, I'm hot.
For real.
Because I got that in the beginning.
Maybe that's the issue, is that like men will like perceive women and they're like, we're not taking you seriously because we think you're this type of person. Absolutely. But that's not it.
And I've even experienced that collabing with people in the industry.
That's awful.
Like trying to grow my page. I don't know if it's happened to you, but like when you collab with other people online, like sometimes like they're not who they say they are when you meet them.
Yeah.
And
like
it's just like super awkward.
I actually haven't really collaborated with a lot of people because like in my city there's really like nobody.
Oh, right.
And I tried collabing with this girl once, which it didn't work out because it was a negative experience. Let's just say that. But it was unfortunate.
Not the girl on girl.
I know.
Bummer.
I was really looking forward to that being like a first collab, and it could have been well, but like, you know, sometimes you just don't vibe with people.
Honestly. I think that's something I didn't expect getting into the industry. I'm like, because like weed's such like a peace love industry, I'm like, this is gonna be amazing, everyone's gonna be so nice. Then you learn like, okay, some people are only here for business. Like it's strictly business to them. Like they're not playing, they're coming for your neck. Like like I thought we were gonna be a team.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I mean, you have to definitely look out for those people because it is a business at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
But it also comes with respect. Because it's such a new business, I feel like people think they can get away with like disrespect or not being authentic because it's the cannabis industry. Nobody's going to really care.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I agree
and
with
I've
that
had
completely.
experiences where like people front like there's somebody they're not online.
Yes.
Like I'm not going to say who, but like I literally collabed with a guy who like he reached out to me. The audacity.
Oh
he
my
reached out
God.
to me and he's like, can we like take a photo shoot together and like you can model like my sweater? And I was like, sure. And then I told him like, is this gonna be like a paid thing? And he's like, no, because like I'm gonna post you on my Instagram and like you're gonna get like the following. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is when I was starting, so I was like, okay. We get there. Oh my God. And I had the co-host at the time. Thank God, because if I didn't, who knows what would have happened, honestly. So it was me and my co-host. We got there and it's just him. And it was a weird ass sketchy apartment.
Oh,
super weird. We got there like first of all, this isn't even like a studio space or like a nice space. Like it was super weird. We're like, what the fuck are we gonna do in here? Like, and it was really an empty room, but a mattress on the floor.
Stop.
That's it. It was like super ghetto. Like,
oh my God.
It was scary. We were like, are we about to die? Like, no, it was nothing. No furniture. Like just a gross room. It was like dirty as fuck with a mattress on the floor.
So did you take photos? Was that
yes?
What?
So he pulls out the sweaters and he's like, "Okay, we're gonna take photos." So he like posted all over his social media. Like people are thinking like we work for him, like we're part of his brand, his team, and he's telling people they're part of my brand, my team. Because people started asking him like, "Are you just using these girls to like get clout?"
Right.
You know? And he was like, "No, they're part of my team." After that, he never spoke to us again. I DM'd him and I was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with you using it was me specifically, not even my co-host, me specifically, my face, like on his website.
Yeah.
Like if you click his website, you see my face.
Still to this day?
Not anymore.
Okay, but at the time.
I told him, like, can you take it down? Like, I don't feel comfortable unless I'm getting, like, commission. One, because I'm selling, like, your entire brand.
Yeah.
Or two, just recognize, like, shout me out, like, acknowledge me.
What
he literally
the hell?
didn't even left me on red.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then I went to go click the website, and now he doesn't have the website anymore. It's like, it doesn't exist. So I guess he's trying to find like a replacement or whatever. But it was just like, yo, you can't even respect me enough to like answer me.
That's so rude.
Right?
Especially because
like,
you took your time to go there. Yeah.
Or like, oh, this was a misunderstanding. Like literally
that's it,
left
at the
on
very
red.
least.
It was like we never existed. And I was like,
dang.
and now he's out here like with a bunch of women acting like, you know, I'm for women growing. And I'm like,
do I know this person?
Snake. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you know, I had not a similar situation, but just like an interesting situation. I'm not from Toronto. I flew in on Thursday.
Yeah, girl, be careful. Toronto man's
Yeah.
Most of them,
And that's what I heard from like other people, but I'm like, let me make my own judgments for myself,
right,
you know?
right.
And when I landed, there's like this anonymous Instagram account that posted something very disturbing about this person that I'm going to meet for
What's the
first
account?
time. Budtenders Anonymous.
Yes. So if you guys want to check them out for like all the tea and like the real shit, Budtenders Anonymous. Okay?
Yeah. And like when I read it, I was like, okay, I haven't met this person. He's a stranger.
Right.
And this is an anonymous account. But the accusations were like so many. And
how did they expose him? They said like this person.
Yeah, they literally
this.
exposed his name, his brand, and said 20 plus accusations. And I'm like, that's serious shit. That's
20 plus?
Yeah, that's not something to take lightly. And
oh my God.
I was just like, so, because I was looking forward to, I came into Toronto for an event to be part of his plan for the event, like his panel. And I was really looking forward to it. So like I wasn't sure if I should still go or if I should still pull out, but I ended up pulling out last minute just because like the comments on there were just like very,
I mean, 20 plus.
Yeah.
You maybe one, you can be like, you know, it's a hater, it's an op, someone's trying to bring him down.
Exactly.
But 20 plus.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm shook right now.
I know.
20 plus.
Yeah. Did you see the post?
Oh my.
I'm glad that post, like as sad as it was, because I didn't get to do the thing I came here to do. Right. At least it happened before, like I don't know, me
before
actually.
It's too late.
Yeah, before it's too late. Exactly.
100%. Honestly, I'm glad that you stood up like for what's right, because not a lot of people would.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, it's just business. Like,
yeah.
I don't care if this person's a piece of shit. Yeah. Like, I want the clout. I want the bag. So.
That was my mindset at first, honestly.
But we need more of that to let people know it's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna let it slide.
Exactly.
Like, just because the cannabis industry is new, it doesn't have much regulations, doesn't mean you can do whatever you want.
Right. Because there'll always be more opportunities.
Absolutely. Like this one, right?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't come here for no reason. You're here now.
Exactly.
If you didn't come this weekend, I literally would have never been able to get you on the podcast.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I was like, right? A blessing in disguise. So let's talk about cannabis and women. Do you find that women are more stigmatized to say that they smoke?
For sure.
Right? Right? I'm like, it's not just me.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's scared until I'm like, I actually smoke all the time. They're like, oh my God, me too. I'm like...
I see comments online about like men saying that like women who smoke are gross, but I'm like, you're a man who smokes, so like, what's the difference? Ew.
Wow,
yeah, but
that's
actually,
crazy. Honestly, as someone who doesn't drink, like I don't drink at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't drink at all. I cut it out of my life, but I still continue to choose cannabis. I noticed the problem was just alcohol.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people notice that. Like,
yeah.
Because alcohol is so normalized. It's like nobody really talks about how bad it is for you. We're so stuck on weed that everybody's just letting alcohol slide.
It's crazy how over glamorized alcohol is.
Absolutely.
When it like literally breaks homes, breaks everything, kills people. Like,
it's so sad.
It's
really
sad,
honestly. So how have you found that cannabis has positively affected you?
So I'm an introvert. I like to be around people. I would say I'm a social introvert, and cannabis has helped me kind of like break out of my shell and be more social with people. And I also like struggle with depression and anxiety. Obviously it's manageable, but I use cannabis as a tool to kind of manage that. And it's been helping me so much. Yeah, it's okay.
Like if we use Advil for headaches,
thank you.
Why can't I not smoke a joint because my stomach is turning and I'm nervous?
Exactly.
Right? I find that it's actually probably healthier, if anything.
I agree.
I mean, probably growing your own weed is the healthiest option nowadays. I mean, obviously dispensaries, like they have the regulations, right? But at the end of the day, so does medication. Yeah. Like that goes with everything and anything, alcohol even.
Exactly.
Right? Like you don't even see anything about alcohol on the labels like you do with cannabis.
Which is crazy.
What are you hiding?
Yeah. We don't know what's in there. Yeah.
Like you go into dispensaries, we have to like give you every single detail. You can't see what's through the package. Like discreet, total like but alcohol, it's like come on in, take one to go. It's crazy.
Yeah. And like even like the advertising for alcohol, it's everywhere you go. You literally can't avoid it at any cost. But
so do you find that it's hard to advertise like cannabis in the industry?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
How come? Is it the regulations? Like I don't get it. If it's legal,
the regulations.
Why can't you advertise it?
It's like, okay, so like have you read the Cannabis Act for the regulations? No. It's like so fucked. It's very vague.
That's why.
It's so vague. Right, yeah, it's so vague. And like honestly, technically everyone is kind of breaking the rules. But like that's why I think cannabis content creators are so important, because like like we don't really need to follow the Cannabis Act.
Right.
We could do whatever we want on our
Right.
personal pages, but
Right.
like as a cannabis business, they can't.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're a cannabis business out there, definitely take advantage of cannabis content creators.
100%. Honestly, we get overlooked so much. Like so many times people will like say, you know, I'm trying to do this podcast for clout. I'm like, if I was trying to do this podcast for clout, I would not be talking about this.
For real.
Because this is literally taking away like 50% of my audience. Like it's making it so much more difficult. Like I'm doing this for the people. Okay?
Exactly. Aww.
No, literally. Like sometimes
that.
I'm like, should I just stop like making this centered on like weed and stuff? But
Yeah.
then every guest will tell me the same thing. They're like, don't stop doing this.
Don't.
Like, we see you.
Keep pushing.
Right?
Yeah.
And even not just me, all content creators that are in the cannabis industry, like we're the OGs. Like in the future when this is normal, we're gonna be like, we did this shit. We walked so you guys can run. You know what I mean?
So when did you start making content?
It was at the end of 2019, like right before the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, I started
Nice.
with my friend because we were just like, you know, smoking. We were always into music. Like we met in high school and we always had this idea, but like we were kind of scared because like it was so fresh. Like,
Yeah.
it was barely legal at the time.
Right.
We were like, I don't know, is this going to work?
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck it. Let's just start seeing where it takes us. Like in the beginning, we were 100% like focused on the weed. Like we were making like funny reels, like giving away weed, but like our account was getting taken down. So I was like, okay, we can't do this clearly. So we started focusing on music more. And then, yeah, honestly, she left and I kind of just had to like figure out all the keys because I was like, if I don't like educate myself on how to like do the loopholes, like this is going to go nowhere.
Exactly.
Like if you don't really have that dedication on this platform, like you're going to give up because it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hard.
I guess it's just like the passion that keeps you going,
exactly.
basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why content creators are genuine. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Some of us. Some of us.
Yeah, most of us. I mean, so what do you see with the future of cannabis? Like, do you think things are gonna like, you know, open up? Things are gonna be taken more seriously?
I'm really well, there's a lot of things to say actually.
100%.
But I think a start, and I think Toronto has this like consumption spaces.
Right. We've actually had them like even before it was legal.
Oh really?
Yeah.
See, I've never been to one.
Yeah, it was. We used to call them vape lounges.
Oh, vape lounges.
They would say vape, but
Okay.
people would actually smoke weed in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shout out like Paradise OG place.
Oh my
crazy.
God,
Yeah.
what an
I should
experience.
take you. Oh my God.
I
they're
want to
still
go.
open. I'll
I've
take you
never
there.
been to
oh
one.
my God. Paradise is like the OG. Like,
oh my
shout out
God.
Paradise.
I would
Yeah.
love that.
Like before when we were all like sneaking around, like we would have to go to these cafes and like keep it on the low.
Oh my
and then when
God.
it became legal, they basically shut down because everybody's like, okay, we don't have to go there anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like I can smoke wherever I want. I don't have to go to this location,
Yeah.
right? But it was kind of nice because like you had like
a space.
everyone else, like the whole community,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, I guess we have to wait for the laws to change so we can
Yeah.
start having like cannabis cafes.
Yeah,
That'd be
that
so
would be
dope.
lit.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're slacking.
And I want them to be able to like, I don't know, like companies are getting creative with like packaging and stuff like that for the legal ones, like with pretty colors and stuff, but they're still pretty restricted. It would be cool if like they could do more cool things with the packaging because like you mentioned this before, like as a consumer there's not really much you can base your purchase decision off of other than the packaging. You can't see what's inside.
Right. And everyone's different, so it's hard to suggest a product to someone because it's like, who knows if you'll even like it.
Right.
It's like you don't go to the liquor store and it's like, what do you suggest? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, there's tequila, there's vodka, there's so many different options. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Let's talk about sticky greens for a second.
Okay.
You're a rep?
Yeah, brand ambassador.
Okay, brand ambassador for
in
Sticky
Manitoba
Greens.
though, specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that their vape distillates are different than other ones?
Yes.
How are they different than other ones? I personally am not a fan.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
I personally am not a fan of distillate either, but I know that there's a spot in my life for distillate because it's discreet, right? And like
100%.
there's those situations where you need something for the convenience sake, the low maintenance sake, and to be discreet, and the smell, right? In my experience with like, and I've tried a lot of distillate before, and I thought it was just a me thing. Like it made me feel nauseous or like a headache.
Oh my God.
The high is very short lived. Like you'll be stoned for like 5 minutes and then it fades away.
Right. That's exactly how I feel about them.
Yeah, and like talking to like a lot of people, they say the exact same thing. I found with the Sticky Greens distillate, like it's still distillate at the end of the day, but because they like use like premium hardware, the hardware ensures that the experience is smooth from start to finish. Because a lot of the times where I've tried distillate carts in the past, it'll start to taste burnt, it'll clog, it'll leak.
Right.
The flavor is inconsistent. It'll be like super potent at first, but then when it starts to get lower, then the flavor isn't there anymore. In my experience with the Sticky Greens ones, they're very consistent and they're not harsh on the inhale and exhale. And the flavors accurately taste like how they're described, which is something I
cool.
appreciate.
I'm gonna have to try them out now.
Like, have you ever like purchased something thinking it would taste like strawberry because it was named after strawberry and didn't taste like strawberry?
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I
interesting.
prefer sticky greens carts. If I'm gonna smoke carts, it's the sticky greens ones for sure.
So how can you tell the difference between a product that's like good quality and a product that's like not that great?
I think the hardware is sorry. I'm stuttering.
All good.
I think the hardware is like something to keep an eye out for. Like, obviously plastic cartridges aren't the best. I don't know if there's any plastic cartridges on the legal market, but glass cartridges for sure, like borosilicate glass, because they won't melt.
They're the best?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know, like, I'm not totally entirely educated on like what the requirements are for hardware in the legal
It
market.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Even like with water, if you put in a plastic bottle compared to a glass bottle.
Right. Exactly.
There's a difference.
Right. And that's the same for bud too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is there any strain that's your favorite of all time? Are you an indica or sativa?
I'm a sativa girl.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you were going to say indica.
No.
Usually introverts are indica.
Yeah, I know. I get that pretty often.
I'm an indica person.
I knew it. I feel like everyone loves indicas.
Yeah, sativa is like, well, it depends. But
Yeah.
sativa, I know like I'm not going to go to bed anytime soon.
Yeah. See, I always like to be like wired like that because I feel like my energy is pretty like low energy usually. Not that I'm a negative person, but because I'm an introvert, I'm too chill.
Right.
And like, yeah, sativa kind of helps me.
Makes sense.
Bring me up.
That's
a little
actually
bit.
so funny because I'm the opposite. I'm just like, oh my God, I have many things to do. And I'm like, when I smoke my indica, I'm like, okay, relax, one thing at a time.
I think my favorite strain right now is Organic Sour Cookies by 1964.
Ooh,
I love it.
I'm gonna have to try
Tastes
that.
good, smells good, and like the effects last long. Cause I try not to smoke like too many times in a day.
Right.
Just to like, well, first of all, it's expensive. If you're smoking like 10 times a day, you're gonna run out of weed.
Honestly.
And like, yeah, I just want to set my intention with weed now.
And let's like make that clear.
Yeah.
You can be a frequent cannabis user and still know when to stop, how much you should be smoking, like when you're taking advantage of it. Like you really just have to be aware and disciplined.
Yeah, that's
really what it is.
Disciplined stoners.
Period. And shout out Disciplined Stoners. That's a podcast too.
Yeah. I actually saw them at the Can Expo yesterday for the first time. They got great energy.
How was that?
I really liked it.
I've never been.
I enjoyed it.
Okay,
have you been to Lyft before?
I have.
Okay.
That was fun.
Lyft is fun. I found that this one was, I don't know how to explain it. It felt, because you know how Lyft is pretty business?
Right.
This is also business, but it felt more community based.
Oh, nice.
Like they had an influencer awards, which I thought was like pretty
dope.
cool, and like other awards that they were giving out. And I'm like,
that's super dope.
Yeah.
Wow, I have to go to the next one. Guys, shout out Can Expo. Yeah. So before we wrap it up, where can everybody find you on social media?
Okay, so my main account on Instagram is tjohns, spelled TEEJOHNSS. And then I have a backup reviews account where I post all my bud shots and like no pictures of my face. So it's just like all product.
Do you find you need a backup account in this industry?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have one. I'm like, I probably should get one.
You should, yeah.
Instagram's so whack.
Instagram is whack. I hate how like connected I am to it in comparison to all the other apps.
Because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, even though there's restrictions, the way I've been able to connect with everybody, like you, like I would have never met you, right? If it wasn't for Instagram.
I just feel like the majority of people use Instagram as their like primarily app.
Exactly. But you're also on YouTube, no?
Yes.
Can they find you there?
You can. Tawana Marijuana.
Ooh, oh really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that. Oh my God. Tawana Marijuana.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our 420 special. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
It was such a pleasure to meet you, and we'll smoke one after this.
Okay, sweet.
Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Word on the streets. It's BowlzNBeatz. Bye.
That was scary as fuck.
Was it? Yeah. Wow, you did not look nervous at all.
Really? Oh my God. Okay.
I'm like, she's just riding the wave.
Oh my God.
Oh, you were good.
You
were so good.
Thank you.